and then Mr. Castro.
You all please stand.
Pastor Jimenez.
Gracious God, we thank you for this day. As we gather here this evening, Father, the first city council meeting for 2020, we pray that your Holy Spirit moves about, touching every heart and every soul. Thus far, 2020 has proven to be fairly a tough year, a tough beginning, as so many people have suffered losses. We continue to pray, if I may say so, for the Jimenez family. We pray that you offer them more peace and comfort throughout the days. And also for the Flores family that have lost a loved one as well. Lord, we pray that the light that shines within our hearts, that you give us the courage and the wisdom and the guidance to show that light in our community, a light of love, compassion, mercy, and grace, that you so freely give to each one of us, free for the taking, a grace and a mercy that we do not deserve. So, Father God, we pray that this meeting this evening be efficient, be just, and be a great movement for the city as we pray for bigger and better things for this new year of 2020. And if we all would please pray our Lord's Prayer. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, we will establish a quorum. Ms. Marissa Jimenez is here, Councilwoman Gloria Martinez, myself, Mayor Pro Tem Gloria Morales Cantu, Councilman Juan Ortiz, and Councilwoman Jade Jimenez. Now we will have a moment of silence for Councilman George Jimenez. Everybody, and I would also like to read something also. Councilman Jimenez loved the people of Floresville, and we loved him. He was always helping those in need and comforting those in pain. He was a dear friend that will be greatly missed. The local newspaper should be ashamed of the graphic photos posted online moments after this tragedy. My sincerest condolences to Sylvia and the entire Jimenez family. Jared will be greatly missed, forever cherished, and always remembered. Rest in peace, my dear friend, and know we will never forget you. With that, we will start the meeting. Do we have any citizens' comments? Mr. Gonzalez, and I also.
Mayor, Council, Fred Gonzalez, Floresville. Just briefly, as an involved citizen, I want to welcome our new council member, Jake Jimenez. While the situation that got us here was horrible, we can only imagine the impact on you. Nevertheless, here we are and we move forward. We appreciate and thank you for your stepping up and assuming the job to continue the legacy. I firmly believe the citizens matter. I, for one, offer my services to help you in any meaningful way that I can. Again, I welcome you and wish you the best. Be well. Thank you all for your attention and time.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Okay, old business? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor Protein, council members and staff, and other person here in this evening. My name is Roy Eidred. I'm a citizen of Floresville, and I'm here to thank you. As you remember, for the past 3 years, I've been having some seminars using the buildings of the city, the library, and the event center. They have bring good things. I have been called notice to people out of state, and they requested me to make a book about this course that can benefit other people throughout the world. So that's a good one for the city. So based on that, my time has been more stressed. So as you probably know, I'm resigning from the 4A board in order to make room for that and to help Mr. Ben Reed with the development of the city, and the rest of the time we dedicated to publish this book. So I want to thank you all for this time, the opportunity that you have given me to help the community. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Mr. Eidred, for everything you've done for us. We're very proud of you for writing that book.
Mr. Eidred, I'd really like to thank you for your service that you've given the 4A board, and we really appreciate what you've done and what you're still doing. Okay, thank you so much.
The technology. All right. All the officers that came out, stand with me. So I'm gonna try to keep this under the time limit, but probably not. So, as you know, I just wanted to thank our police officers, but not only them, I want to thank Charlotte, who's going to come up here as well. The staff that we have with Charlotte as our assistant, and the police officers' assistants that they have, that we had our first annual National Night Out here at the City of Floresville at the event center. And I just want to bring your attention and present this award not only to the police officers for what they've done, but I want to present you the council. So, as you know, it's a national award. It's called Neighborhood Watch Association of the Nation. And you've had people all over the nation apply for these awards. And this is the first time we did it as a community. So it's everyone coming together, EMS, DPS, our firemen, but the support that we have from the city council. So I wanted to let you know that we were awarded Rookie of the Year for first time cities bringing this award to our city of Floresville as a national award. And we're in the likes of other states like Florida, Illinois, Kansas, Louisiana, Washington. Washington, and Colorado. So like I said, in no particular order, we came in top 10. We're ranked at number 9. So we look forward to next year making this a bigger and better event. It happens on the first Tuesday in October every year. We've already signed up for next year with the association. And now we'll move it to the category of a city that's 5 to 15,000 citizens. So we look forward to getting on that top 10 list next year, maybe taking number 1. But again, I want to present this to our city and to officers what they've done. So thank you. Get everyone at the front. Y'all come out, we can take a photo. I appreciate it. Fred, want to come? Go ahead. Who's on the board? Jake? Yeah, I am, of course.
Thank you. Am I okay?
Right there. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out tonight. Yeah, take a picture of the flag. You want to take a picture? Yeah, it's the rookie.
Okay, any more citizens' comments? And I would also like to extend my condolences in behalf of the city, myself, the city council and myself, to the Flores family. With that, we will start with the old business. CNA to approve minutes for the regular council meeting on November the 14th, 2019. Whenever y'all are ready to move.
I move that we accept the meeting minutes for November 14th.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 abstain. Okay, CNA, item B, CNA to approve minutes for the special council meeting on December the 9th, 2019.
I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the special council meeting on December 9th of 2019.
Okay,
I second.
Marissa? And then Gloria second. All in favor? Raise your right hand. 4, 1 abstain. Okay, CNA to approve minutes for the special council meeting on January the 13th, 2020.
I move we accept the minutes for special council meeting on January 13th.
I second.
All in favor? 5-0. Okay. We will go with the annual funding, the presentation and discussion. Chamber of Commerce?
Good evening, council people. This is our first time. I am so sorry. I'm very nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Show barn all day. I'm the vice president of the Floresville Chamber of Commerce.
I'm the president, Ashley Lehman. We're with the Chamber of Commerce. We also run the Visitor Center. And that's why we're here tonight, is to ask for our annual funding to run the Visitor Center. In previous years, the Chamber has asked for funds to run the Visitor Center. Last year, they gave us $15,000. but it's from the HO tax money, because we do a lot with we answer phones, a lot of visitors come into the center to get maps and visitor guides. We do a lot of, on all our events, we have maps, visitors guides, and promote the town in any way we can. So we just like help funding that visitor center so we can continue to have that open for visitors, the community.
And future people moving in. There's a lot of families I know recently. We've had really nice packets and things put together, so I know people have come in asking about the town, and I'm like, yes, and check out our historical things we have too. And so I know we've got some really cool things put together, and just trying to get people not just here, but look around too and see what else, what all the town does have to offer.
And we take a lot of phone calls for our events around town. Peanut Festival, our phone is ringing off the hook. Everybody calls the chamber for any kind of information. The event center, they call us. Any kind of things they want to know about the town, they call us. And so we'd like to be able to keep that open.
We appreciate all the work y'all are doing, and we will take this into consideration.
All right, is there anything y'all need from us? Do y'all need anything from us?
I have a question, Madam.
Go ahead.
You're asking for funding?
For the visitor center, yes, sir. The chamber runs the visitor center, the building, to have that open.
Was it budgeted? It wasn't budgeted?
It was not budgeted this year. The previous year, we did $14,000. It was not 15, was not budgeted this year. They had a change in presence, and they didn't ask at that point.
Yeah, we didn't know what.
Previously, their president would come and present during our budget time,
Right.
but they did not. One of the things that when she said you need anything, we probably would need a copy of their budget, their membership fees, those kind of things, and staff can make a recommendation at the next meeting if you care to.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
And I just want to say, I am so excited to see so many beautiful faces up there that are women.
Mrs. Martinez, for finance, item B, presentation and discussion.
You're handsome, you're okay.
Mayor Pro Tem, council members, newly elected, appointed council member Jay Jimenez. I am very proud of you, and I know your dad would be proud of you as well. And I know you will bring good things to the city, so congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm nervous too. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to report is the end of the fiscal year finances. So if you'll pull your summary sheet that has the highlighted yellow, are y'all all there?
On page, the first one?
There's no page number, it is just highlighted in yellow. Okay. So that's ending September 30th. I'm proud to announce that for the first time in a couple of years, we ended the general fund with a positive fund balance.
And I'm very proud of that. We made up all that we were 354,000 in the whole year, last year, and thank you for clarifying that. I hope the local newspaper prints that we are.
Yeah, we're moving in a positive direction. So again, we had a negative $354,899 negative fund balance. The current fiscal year had a positive fund balance of $371,271 for a net fund balance of $16,373.
Thank you.
So it took a lot of work to get there. It wasn't there. I became the interim finance director October 1st. So when I became the interim finance director, I soon found out that there were some reconciliations that weren't being done, that the books weren't closed on a monthly basis, that revenue reconciliations weren't being done. So if there's anything that I can impart as my wisdom for future finance directors or comptrollers, make sure that they have done all the bank reconciliations, closed the month, done the reconciliations, and that's the only way you'll have a good set of books. And the other thing is, on the summary report, I have found that the fund balance was incorrect. So I went back to the audit report and found that some of the fund balances were incorrect. So I went back and corrected all the fund balances. So I feel confident that the fund balances that I'm reporting to you for 2018-19 are correct. Do y'all have any questions about the summary?
Madam Mayor, may I have the floor?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's just a comment, and I want to tell the taxpayer and the people to understand that 16,000 will not be there that long because of our legal in court. So that 16,000 will be coming down due to our the city being sued by certain people. I don't want to make any names, but we are being sued. So just take that into consideration. You know, it's still a continuation. Every time our lawyers go to court and get papers, the clock and the funds are counting. It's been one too many times that the same people and the same groups are suing the city, and they always lose. So I just want to remind you of that we are being sued, and the funds will be coming down, deleted.
That is true, Mr. Ortiz.
It is true.
And it's not just legal fees, anything that's not budgeted,
Right.
you know, and we're spending would attribute to a negative fund balance. And you're right, Bill.
Excuse me, with all due respect,
Yes.
this was not budgeted.
Right, I'm just saying anything that wasn't
Absolutely.
budgeted
I know that. Thank you.
would attribute to a negative fund
I
balance.
yield the floor.
Mr. Ortiz, thank you for saying that, because that's how we got into the last time when the city department or a certain city department person was being also sued, and that money wasn't in the budget.
Right. The thing that I'm mostly concerned about are fund balances, and you'll see on the far right-hand side for 18-19, most of the fund balances are positive, with the exception of the 4A Corporation, which is the Civic Center. It has a negative $882,523 deficit. We need to pay close attention, very close attention to that fund. And as you can see, it's been running a negative fund balance from year to year. So I just want to point that out. If we can go, do y'all have any more questions on the September fund balance?
No, ma'am.
Okay. The next one is the October report. There's a typo on there, to be for fiscal year 2020. Should read ending October 31st, 2020. So it's this second one that's for October.
Is that for October?
Yes, ma'am. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Everybody's there? Okay. So on the October report, October is the first month of the fiscal year, and we're in fiscal year 2020. As you can see, same pattern, far right-hand side, you have mostly positive fund balance, with the exception of the 4A Corporation. I did find some errors of the person that keyed the 2020 budget in, and I need to make some adjustments, so I'm going to report those adjustments in the next budget meeting. It was too late to make them now. I couldn't just go in and correct them. I called Encode, our accounting system, and they said it would require a budget adjustment.
Talking about an amendment, a budget amendment,
Budget adjustment.
or an adjustment.
Mhm. regarding October. So I'm only reporting October, because I found that error. I would have done October, November. So once, the next meeting in February, I'll make the corrections. I'll report to y'all which adjustments I made. And then, I'll report for October, November, and if the bank reconciliation is done for December, I'll report all 3 months.
Ms. Martinez, do you think, is there any improvements that we need to do, or, that you think,
In terms of,
anything that's related to what you do?
can you be more specific?
I mean, is the way the computers are being run, the way, they collect the money?
The way the computers are run fine.
Okay, even though.
Collect the money for everything, you have a municipal court.
Everything, is there something that you would do different?
I know we have, there's areas, processes for improvement, and one of the things that we're doing right now is we found out that the municipal court cash module, those collections in municipal court are not interfacing with our general ledger. So we're having to manually enter all the collections, and it's a very arduous task. However, we met with Barcom, was it this week?
Yes, we met with them yesterday.
And that's one of the things we pointed out, that we need help with that.
That's right. And how's Barcom? Are they okay?
Personally, I have had a good experience with them. There are other people that express their sentiments
And
that were
concerns,
not.
because, I mean, I hear that they call him and they don't come in time, and
Yeah.
I don't know how true that is.
Well, you can talk to her first.
Or to whoever wants to answer that.
Okay, so we met with Barcom, you know, our new computer system, but I think we'll get off the agenda a little bit. When we met with Barcom, our new computer person, we met with the different departments. The police department expressed their concern, the judge was able to express his concern, and that it's time for us not to upgrade our computers. So Helen will be preparing something for you for the next meeting, because as you know, in 2020, the computers have to be changed and upgraded. I believe we're at 22 computers that need to be addressed for different departments. And so they're going to be bringing that back to you, but it is a learning curve. Remember, we've had the other company Documentation for some time. This is new for them, but we did meet with them individually, so that each department can express their concerns. And so, like I said, some admin, like, I don't have any issues with Barcom, but I think the police department was trying to address their issues as well as the judge. So we'll start replacing those computers, and then the chief has some decisions to make in reference to how they're going to do their vehicle computers, because it's kind of like the time when everything has to be upgraded in 2020. I believe it's at 07 they stopped. They're not actually supporting anymore as 07. Yes, everything has an 07 needs to be upgraded. So we're going to do a systematic cost across, so we'll be using Dell computers. That was one of the things they presented, but at that time they hadn't done analysis to let you know. So that will be, as Councilwoman asked, a budget amendment, because we didn't know what the cost would be or how many computers until they did their study.
Okay. I mean, if y'all have any recommendations of how you feel I can improve, I would love to hear them.
No, you're doing a good job. It's just, I was wondering if you had any concerns.
Like I said, just that, you know, I'm not,
Or Ms. Turner.
as far as concerns, you know, yeah, I don't think INCO, the financial system that we use, is the best, but the reason I expressed that we need to stay with INCO is because we don't really have a network when we have problems with the financial part of INCO, other than our peers, and all of them have INCO. So we call each other, we have an issue.
Teletechnology is used by most municipalities our size. We have series of 10. We have,
We have 9.
9.
Right.
10 is the next one. I don't think we're going to upgrade it. It's really expensive, but everybody uses Encode and everything, so we're really kind of stuck with them. And so we're trying to learn the system. But we continue to use Mr. Holler, Randy Holler, as a consultant. He is definitely certified in Encode and helping us to address and take care of some of those issues that we run across.
Helen, are you still using Randy?
Yes,
And if so,
I reported that at the last meeting, or the one before that. Yes, I am. I have a choice between trying to get a budget to hire an accountant. I don't want to do that, because it does take someone of that caliber to do the bank reconciliations. And the only one he's doing is full cash. And he's very, very reasonable. That's why I think we should stay with him. And he has provided invaluable, even with all the experience I have, he has provided some invaluable information. And he's been a great asset to all of us.
How often does he come?
Maybe, he'll be here in February to help with the audit. It's sporadic, and so it's not every month, but he's doing the bank recs remotely. So, okay. I would say tops, we're paying him maybe 8,000 to 10,000, and that's, to me, you look at a cost-benefit analysis, it's either that CPA or hire an accountant that may not be as experienced. So I strongly recommend that we keep him.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Thank you for the info.
Yes, ma'am.
Do I have any other questions, or?
Okay, we're ready to move on to the,
Madam Mayor, Pro Tem, may I make a motion to move item 3A forward?
did you want to skip?
Yes.
Did you say? Only because I had suggested in the format, y'all wanted vacancies, so I was just gonna point out the vacancies.
I just want to jump to 3A, thinking about the family's time.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
Yeah, and then we'll
that's
come
fine,
back, Helen, if you don't mind.
Okay,
that's fine. If we want to, if you want to make a motion to do that,
I make a motion to move item 3A.
the new business,
Yes.
I second. All in favor? Okay, so Ms. Helen, for
Get back to
the
you.
families, fine.
We'll give you a break right now.
Okay, I'm gonna read the proclamation of the city of Floresville, office of the city of, and it's going to be a proclamation for, number 2020-002- for Councilman Gerard Jimenez. And this is the reading. The proclamation, City of Floresville, Office of the Mayor and City Council. Whereas, on behalf of the City of Floresville, the City Council wishes to recognize our deepest sorrow over the passing of Councilman Gerard Jimenez on January the 6th, 2020. And whereas Councilman Gerard Jimenez served the community of Floresville as alderman from 2001 to 2007 and was re-elected to council again in 2017. As a pioneer and leader, he was the right person to give definition to the alliance of the city and business. He shared in the vision of economy advances and strives towards growth of the city for the prosperity of the citizens. And whereas Councilman Gerard Jimenez captured the essence of being an elected public servant for the Floresville, who pushed for the improvement of the city of Floresville, and whereas Councilman Gerard Jimenez was a beloved and loving husband to Sylvia Bial Jimenez, father, grandfather, friend, and community leader, and whereas his life was dedicated to the best interests of the community of Floresville and his family. Whereas the city of Floresville was honored to have worked with him during his service to the community of Floresville, and whereas the city of Floresville is honored of Councilman Gerard Jimenez, do hereby declare November the 8th as Gerard Jimenez Day in the city of Floresville. And on behalf of the entire city council, place 1, Marissa Jimenez, place 2, Gloria Estrada Martinez, place 3, Juan Ortiz, place 5, Mayor Pro Tem Gloria Morales Cantu, city employee, and all the citizens of Floresville in recognition of Councilman Gerard Jimenez for the many contributions to the city of Floresville, do hereby express our deep appreciation for his dedication to the progress of the city of Floresville and extend to his family our sincerest sympathy upon his passing. In witness whereof, I set my hand and cause the seal of the city to be affixed this 23rd day of January 2020.
I make a motion to approve proclamation 2020-002, Councilman Gerard Jimenez.
I second.
All in favor? All opposed?
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, the city also received a resolution from the state of Texas from our state representative, John Kimpel of District 44. And if I may read it aloud before we present it to the family.
Go ahead.
The resolution reads, whereas residents of Floresville lost a respected and beloved civic leader with the untimely death of City Council Member Gerard Joe Jimenez on January 6, 2020 at the age of 57. And whereas born on November 8, 1962 to Samuel and Mary Ann Jimenez, Gerard Jimenez grew up with the companionship of 4 siblings, Samuel, Alice, Ruby, and Gloria. He studied business administration at Texas Tech University, and he retired from a career as a jet engine mechanic at Kelly Air Force Base. And whereas dedicated to working toward the greater good, Mr. Jimenez served as a Floresville alderperson from 2001 to 2007 and was re-elected to the City Council in 2016 to represent Place 4. He strove to promote economic advancement for the benefit of all residents, and he was likewise a prominent voice for the Hispanic community, an outspoken advocate for equality, and a champion for neighborhood safety. In honor of his contributions, his birthday was posthumously declared Gerard Jimenez Day by the City of Floresville. And whereas, in all his endeavors, Mr. Jimenez enjoyed the love and support of his wife, Sylvia Leal Jimenez, and he was the proud father of 4 children, Gerard, Christopher, Jade, and Jewel. And whereas Gerard Jimenez cared deeply about his community and gave generously of his time and talents to make it a better place for all. And though his passing brings incalculable sorrow, his legacy lives on in the hearts of the numerous people whose lives he's touched. Now, therefore, be it resolved that tribute be paid to the memory of Gerard Joe Jimenez, and that profound sympathy be extended to all those who mourn his passing.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go back to finance. Thank you, Ms. Helen, for doing that.
Okay, so if you go to the current organizational chart, the report that I got from HR, Margaret, is that we have 4 vacancies. One is the Public Works Director, the Finance Director, because I'm still as the USDA project accountant, the Equipment Operator in the Street Department, and a part-time mechanic. So those are the 4 positions that are vacant.
Have we budgeted for that? Do you know?
The public, it doesn't look like the Public Works Director position was.
The Public Works Director position was on the organizational chart, and we did not fund that position. The other positions were funded.
They are,
Funded.
I'm sorry, you said Public Works was or was not?
Not.
Right.
was none.
The Public Works Director was not funded.
Okay, how
But
about,
all the other positions were.
how about the water waste, the wastewater? There's 4 there. I thought there should be 5.
Okay, this is just vacancies. We're looking at vacancies. We did not change that. Actually, the actual numbers, what we asked for, so that we talked about what's on my report, is actually for your finance team report on the vacancies that we have made. We will amend that to be 5 on the chart.
There should be 5 there? I thought we had 5 already. Remember we had 1 extra one?
Yes. Which her report is speaking to vacancies. We're not trying to fill anything in the wastewater.
Okay, but there's 5 in there? So the chart is wrong. There's not 4, there's 5.
Correct.
Okay. So the finance director, we haven't got one of those? Because it's circled here in yellow, that's why I'm asking.
What you have in yellow is you have on there you have 2 positions. You have the finance director, and then you have the USDA project accountant, which are both funded. Helen is acting in this role right now as interim finance director, but there's also the position of the USDA that's on the chart itself. So those are things I'll be asking in my report, that we need to reorganize the organizational chart that's in my report, but you need to have the finance director to report to me what is funded, what is not, and how many positions.
All right.
Okay. We're ready to proceed to the banking information?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, bank reconciliation status, as of today, the bank reconciliations for October and November are complete. I'm keeping on top of this situation and making sure that we are caught up. And Randy Holler has been doing a really good job of keeping track. So I'll follow up again next week, making sure that he has December done. The bank account balances, we have a total of $2,348,522.04 in full cash. I also want to report that since I have been the interim finance director, I've closed 7 bank accounts due to lack of activity for the past 12 months. Okay. So there's one that's showing here, Series 2008. That one has not been closed. There's an open item pending with IRS. I'm not sure what it is. It's an old item. So that's something I need to resolve before it's closed.
That's it, and it's been since 2008? Is that what
I'm not sure how far back it goes. I just know it's old. And when I tried to close it, I was told by Wells Fargo that they couldn't close it because there was an item pending with IRS. So, I'm not sure what it is. Do you have any
But you can
questions?
find out, right, Ms. Sun?
Pardon?
You can find out?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about the bank balances? Okay, and then the next is Texas class. In general fund, we have $554,223.18, and the water and sewer fund, we have $5,352.39. That's as of December 2019. Okay, budget adjustments and amendments, I have two. We received two checks, one for $20,000 that was a donation, and both of them are for PD. One of the $20,000 is needing to be utilized to purchase firearms for firearm training, and the $14,500 is one of our K-9s passed, and the insurance proceeds paid out $14,500. So they want to use that money for those two line items that you see on the bottom, $7,596.41 and $6,903.59, and all the backup is there. And it's mostly for K-9 equipment. So I ask for your approval for this.
It has to be a CNA.
It has to be a CNA. And that was how much? We got
$34,500 for the totals.
So it's $14,000 more than, right? Because you have 20,000?
20,000 and 14,500.
Oh, that's together.
Mm-hmm.
34,500.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So will we need to approve it at our next meeting?
Yes, we can put on it as an adjustment. We'll put it with the other ones for the adjustment.
it has to be put in the agenda.
For CNA?
Oh, I'm sorry about that. All right. And just information on the 2019 audit update. Our audit supposed to start on March 9th by ABIP. Jeremy is one of the partners there, and he will be our auditor.
Is that the same company that's done it the last
10 years.
The last,
10.
we're gonna keep the same ones.
I think we have a contract with him, right?
Yes, you will approve for 3 years, so yes.
That's what I'm
Okay. From February 18th, we're supposed to get the Encode reports. And then February 24th, we're going to be working on getting all the reports. It's a lot longer this year than it was last year. There were like 20-something questions or schedules asked for at the last audit. Now there's 50-something. Go figure. Okay. So that's where we're at. The audit will be starting on March 9th, and we're working on that. And that ends my report.
Thank you very much. Good job, well done.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for the council?
I have a question. I don't know if we went over, but I'm curious about the cemetery fund. What do we have any money in there?
As of September, our fund balance was $58,359.
And now?
October, our fund balance is $56,522.
I'm sorry?
$56,522 is our fund balance. I'm glad you brought that up. I did want to make a comment about the refuse fund, which is our trash account. If you'll notice, we are running a negative balance there. It's small, but if we continue at this rate, it may escalate.
I saw that.
And what that means is either we're not collecting enough revenue or we're not charging our customers enough.
I thought,
More?
Okay.
I saw that we
No,
were.
that's not all attributed to the monthly bill, right? That's not
Yeah, it's part of the,
part
yeah,
of it, but the expenses, because we haven't always had a negative balance, correct?
right, right. And the only way you can get a negative fund balance is either your expenses are too high or you're not collecting enough revenue. So I don't know of any changes in the expenditures that would be in 19 versus previous years.
Well, didn't they go up a little bit, Ms. Turner, and we didn't?
Well, we ate a couple of those because the last time you all agreed that you did not make the administrative change. I believe you agreed to 6%. Right. And so you're still behind whatever the increase is. We're not totally passed on the increase to the residents. But I think to answer your question, some things are expenses, Councilwoman, in reference to we use refuge from them. You know, we have to do something in sewer plant and those kind of expenses, but we haven't had any major issues since we had a new plant. So we're hoping that in 2020 that'll go down and subsidize that.
And the only other recommendation I can make is that we need to do at least an annual audit of all the carts to make sure that all the customers are getting billed for what they say they have.
Who does that? Who does that?
Well, I don't know, we should have one though.
They do it with staff up front, and they work with Republic as they come out to do an audit. They literally have to go out and drive and they would do something in reference to that.
Yeah.
And we usually do those once a year.
When was the last time they did it?
The last time they did it was last year in February.
So they need to do
They're doing it right now.
So we should be getting a report on that sometime soon as far as how many.
Yes, we get one from Republic as to how many you have and how many people have those.
But nobody goes out and counts them.
Yes, they go out with the garbage company and count them. Stefano said he did it last year.
Well, they get ready to do it.
Last year, get ready. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Helen.
Okay, item 2, presentation and discussion with city manager's report.
And my report won't be long. I just want to highlight some things for you. The street maintenance program, we have done the final walkthrough. It was conducted with city staff and the municipal engineers. The punch list has been completed, the final payment and the change have been processed. And so that program is complete. Plum Street and those other streets that we had to be able to do, so our street maintenance, and we're gearing up. As a reminder, at the next election, which I believe in May, that is going to be, you all approved at the last meeting to have it on council so that we can continue with that. As a reminder, I think you had a question too. They had a question about, it's the same fee, it's the same amount. However, if we don't pass it, then actually that $0.25 of sales tax goes back to the state. It doesn't necessarily go to the city. So it is important for us to do it so that we can reserve that for street maintenance tax that comes off your sales tax. The recreational fee was another question that came up. In your packet I gave, was able to present to you that in 2015 we made the change and we had not made the change on the actual physical water your bill. So it does no longer say anything in reference to the Park Foundation, it just now says it's a recreational fee that's assessed. And historically we have used that to make repairs and things such as that in reference to our parks. I believe we have somewhere around $36,000 a year is what we raise for that $1 a month. The organizational chart we talked about earlier is there. I am asking to let you know that I'm going to be making some recommendations about some reorganizations. As Helen reported earlier, we have some vacancies. We tried to hire a mechanic, but the mechanics were requesting $20 an hour for a part-time mechanic, which is more than what our supervisor, who will be supervising him, made. So we're going to see what we can do to come up with something different and present it back to you all in reference to that. I've been having some concerns about the event center, and so I want to reorganize some things over there. So I want to make a recommendation to you, and I will bring it to you at the next meeting. Is that okay?
On the what, Ms. Turner? Sorry.
The event center.
On the event center. Again, the public works director position is on the chart, but it is not funded. That is the key position. Currently, we have an interim finance director, and I'm going to make a recommendation that we remove the USDA project accountant that's on the chart and to have Helen to fill the position of finance director and not the interim again. So she can continue that position, we can eliminate that, but I'm asking so we can go forward and make a recommendation. And then the open positions, we need to think about how we want to do that and definitely want to focus on the event center. So I'll be bringing that back to you, but I just wanted to give you all the heads up.
So, Ms. Turner, when does that change finance director position start? You're making that recommendation?
Yes,
When does that take effect?
tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
There's no change in salary.
No, but-
Move her office tomorrow. I just wanted to inform the council first.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. I'll take vitamins,
Thank you, Ms. Turner.
And we have worked very hard together, we've been meeting together, and it's still, we're not there yet, but we're definitely going in the right direction, I think as Helen reported earlier. In your attachment, we do have, and congratulations, Helen, I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you.
Now they're making me nervous. The thing that we have for you that we really need to pay attention to is actually your boards. And so normally we do have appointed board members. You have a list here. And as you know, Mr. Ivey just made an announcement for 4A. He didn't say anything about planning and zoning, right? Okay, good. All right. So now that's an additional vacancy. And so historically, we've asked people if they want to join. We've had it on there. I think we have someone pending to be on the hike and bike one, has put in an application. Other than that, we haven't received any. And so we're saying now, so we can put it on the list news, that we need to have people to apply, but you need to think about how we want to fill these positions. So it's on there. I gave you the chart so that you know. There's one we may have missed an opportunity to fill that I'll have to follow up on, and that is going to be the one for the assessor's office.
The what?
The assessor's office. The tax
Appraisal.
the appraisal district. That's the
Appraisal district.
And so we missed the window because we didn't have meetings, but I will follow up to see where we are with the representation, but I think they will be looking for the school board to appoint that as well. And that is the end of my report. Do you all have any questions on myself?
No.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, now we go to new business. Item B. Reservoir. To approve the revenue enhancement service.
How many you can introduce it?
Today we have Ted Campbell here from Asilvar Services. He worked for many years with Community Services, and I had the pleasure of working with him when I was a finance director in Pleasanton. He asked if he could come and talk about what services he can provide. Basically, what we want right now is for him to provide services for hotel motel tax and the franchise tax. The good thing about the franchise tax is we only get billed a percentage of those collections.
So Ted, thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Mayor and council members. Dad, I worked for 13 years. I brought you your first contract for sales tax and lodging tax services. I've actually audited all of your hotels a few years back and was successful in finding the city some additional revenue. And that's what our company is all about. The nice thing about this agreement is that it basically cuts your costs in half for those hotel audits. And we're also in the business of, one of the biggest issues that cities confront nationwide is the home away and the Airbnb rentals. The folks that are renting, but they're not paying those taxes that are due per your city ordinance. We look into that and make sure that those folks are paying. You have a lot of transient workers in this part of the state. It is a big issue. It can be some significant revenue. We work with the city and make sure that those folks are registered and are complying just like your hotels are. So that part of the agreement is fairly straightforward, and I can answer any questions as to what we would do. On the franchise taxes, as she mentioned, most people will not do audits of your cable company, electric, and telephone without some fixed fee plus a contingency. Our company, which was founded in 1996, we founded our company just by doing franchise audits. We've always maintained for cities large and small that we do those on a contingency fee basis only. So you only pay us when we collect additional monies for you. And you don't get billed until you actually get those funds per our audits that we do. So we'll come in and do a full audit of anyone that has a franchise agreement with your city. And I don't think you've had a franchise audit in quite some time. And those that haven't, the rules have changed, statutes have changed. So we're going to study those agreements that you have with those entities and make sure that they're complying. We're also going to help to make sure that you're getting the best deal that you can for the utilities that the city is actually paying, whether it's telecommunications or electric, or even what you're paying for streetlights. Anything to help you save money and bring in new revenue, that's what these audits are all about. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Does the council have any questions? Ms. Seven, do you have?
Well, I feel good about working with Mr. Campbell because I know that he's trustworthy for one, and he'll do everything he can for our city.
And
I think,
Thank you.
Thank you.
I recall Mr. Ted Campbell, a good while back, he was over here. It's been a long time. Why did you depart that venue, what you were doing here with the city?
Well, I retired a couple of years ago, and I still kept, I still wanted to hang out with the finance director, so I continued to attend the conferences, and I attended a conference, it was about a year ago, and a person from Azabar thought I was still with my former address. No, I retired, took a year off, and I was just kind of, I guess I was a free agent. And he got on the phone and talked to his boss, and his boss had heard all about what I had done around the state. When you're around a company for 13 years, you make a lot of friends. And I brought over 100 clients to the table, and I took a lot of pride in what I do, and I take my work very seriously. And I kind of call it boots on the ground. You have to be in the cities, you have to know the city. That's why I came and literally audited your hotels, because I wanted to make sure it was done right. And I learned about the company, I learned about Azabar, and the more I learned about him, the more I liked it. So I'm getting back in this game. But I was really impressed with what they're doing for short-term rentals. The technology and the software that they have was like nothing I'd ever seen before, and I knew that there are so many cities in Texas that are trying to deal with that issue, and they want to be fair to the homeowners, but they also want to be fair to the hotels, and let everyone pay and play on the same level playing field. So they lured me in and recruited me, and in June I became part of that company. So it's exciting, and just like city managers and finance directors move around, I suppose it was time for me to wear a new hat, but I've been actively involved since June, and I really enjoy I enjoy what I was doing. I sat on the city council in Tyler for 2 terms. I served as state representative for East Texas for 8 years, 4 terms. I just really love local government, and I love to help. I don't like to see you have to raise taxes on your citizens, so if you can find revenue without having to raise taxes, I like that. To me, that's what drives me in my job every day.
Mr. Ted, Mr. Ted,
yes, sir.
And the good thing about it is that some some motels do not pay their right fees, and that's where you come in.
Correct. But I don't go and bang them on the head.
No.
They're your business partners.
You will work with them too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I can recall you being here, so with no questions or anything?
We have a comment or a question from Mr.
Yes, I have a question for the gentleman. Is my understanding there's a new law that went to affect federal law due to a lawsuit in South Dakota in regard for businesses that are operating from home and are doing transactions interstate, but the tax is not collected.
Point of information, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Is this the right time for a comment?
No, not right now.
Thank you.
After we, you can ask him that question after we,
Vote on the second.
vote on the thing. Is that okay?
Fine, no problem.
That'd be
Happy.
happy.
I just don't want
Thank you so much.
Okay, CNA is there any more questions from the council? Okay. CNA to approve revenue and has-been services with Asabor. May I have a vote on that, or somebody from the?
Also move, Madam Mayor.
Okay, moved by Mr. Juan Ortiz, Councilman Juan Ortiz. Do I have a second? By Ms. Jimenez, all in favor?
Councilman, at this point, you have to take the comment. Once you have a motion on the floor.
Okay.
Now comes the
All
citizen
right.
comment.
Now you can ask it also.
So going back to this lawsuit between the state of South Dakota and others, the federal government decided that now any home business, any transaction that crosses the state, it can be traceable and collect the sales tax for those home business that was not collected before. So due to the software that is available, this be a great improvement for the citizens throughout the United States, that even out of state that are buying stuff into the state, or we selling to out of state for that money to be collected for you. So it would be so this software is available to do that?
Well, this particular contract is just for franchise taxes and hotel taxes. What my company does do sales tax work, which is what you're talking about. And what he's speaking about is the Supreme Court decision that's known as the Wayfair decision, that now is going to help you bring in revenue, sales tax revenue, that you weren't getting. It used to be, unless you actually had an office or a retail presence in the state of Texas, if you ordered something online from out of state, it wasn't subject to sales tax. It is now. And it's kind of complicated how the comptroller wrote the rules. What we do is make sure that those rules are applied fairly to the cities that we represent. It's an ongoing discussion as to whether your city wants to hire Asabor to do your sales tax work, but that's the kind of work that we have the software to make sure that you're getting all the sales tax that you're supposed to get. And we have the insights and analytics that we can provide the city so they can see monthly the reports and all that cool stuff. It's fairly easily, and it's also very inexpensive. It's only our reports are only $1,800 a year, so it's very affordable. And we can have that discussion when I'm asked to present. I don't like to push things on the city unless they bring it to me. But you are right. The city is going to gain from that. In the smaller cities in Texas, the way the rules are written, you might gain a little bit more than what you actually are supposed to get, and some of the bigger cities are going to lose a little bit. They're still going to gain, but they might. Some of that might still kind of creep into the smaller cities because it's not an exact science, but you will start gaining from those online sales that weren't subject to sales tax. They are now subject to sales tax.
Thank you very much.
You did your homework. You did good.
Well, I'm in the county business, and I work for FDC, and I try to collect the most possible relief the taxpayer for have to pay more city tax on the property tax.
Right. You're absolutely right.
This includes people that are operating in a flea market, and because use of the software and they use credit card, this transaction now can be tracked to the banking system to collect that tax that we've been missing all the time. And it runs into millions of dollars. Thank you.
I don't know if Floresville has a flea market or anything like that. Do y'all? Do you have something like that?
We have flea markets on occasion. Council, just to let you know that EDC is taking up an issue of doing auditing for and paying for service to audit the sales tax. Why we didn't include it in this one. However, I do believe with Spectrum and we're having more internet access, we definitely wanted to include the franchise, which is important, as well as annexation. So we've acquired some new hotels and some new businesses. We want to make sure that that's appropriate, that we've done that. And we need to get a handle on this franchise tax, because I believe that we may not be collecting everything that we have, and then I think we're doing the minimum, and so, once he has a chance to do, report, he can come back and say, we need to adjust to what people are adjusting in the area, and then you all can make a decision if you can do the sales tax. But it's franchises, telephones, cable, there's a myriad of different things, and I don't believe gas too, that we're collecting all that we're doing, but we'll see. But we've had a long-term relationship. You have a good memory, Council.
Thank you very
And,
much.
so we're recommending that we switch from the company that we're using now, which is not offering us anything other than hotel, and it exceeds the amount that's going to do both of them.
And just so you know, FTC, we're in the middle of an audit, so that's some of the ongoing discussions. So as we get past this, in the future, we'll discuss future dealings with it after we get through what we're doing right now on the sales tax.
Is there any more questions from the audience? No?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ted.
Okay, now, we will take a vote. All in favor to approve revenue? 5-0.
So Council, we want to make sure that Councilor Ortiz made the motion and
Yes.
Councilmember Mercer, you second, correct? Thank you.
Okay, now we go to, item C. CNA to approve resolution 2020-001, a resolution of the City Council of Floresville, Texas, establishing the park program.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and City Council. So this is a resolution that came about when we did the Lodi Park. I don't know if you all remember, in the summertime, we worked with the school district and FEDC to remodel and do some things at the park, the Lodi Park, the basketball court. And so we were approached by one of our businesses, one of the churches in town, saying they want to adopt a park. We don't have that resolution for that program. And so we were thinking, as we're looking at our parks, and Councilman is kind of the appointment today, because we spent some afternoon time talking about parks and maintaining the parks. So they would just like adopt a road, you know, like we adopt a highway or section, that we want to be able to do some things to adopt a highway, to adopt a park. And some of the school has asked for different projects to go on and go forward, and so this will officially say that they also have to adopt the park. There's different type of things that they can do. Or the organization who's interested in adopting the park, a contact person, and then we would, of course, need to be able to have waivers for everybody, like when you go on a field trip. But we want to be able to let people to be able to adopt the park. And because in high school, it's been a minute since I've been in high school, but now everybody has to do community service. And so they can adopt to do community service. And we've had it kind of like off the cuff, hit and miss. We want to be able to advertise. And the park is very important to the city. It's also very important to EDC. They've taken it on as a champion. So we're asking for a resolution to adopt a park for organizations.
Should I read it?
You may.
Okay. Says a resolution 2020-001. A resolution of the City Council of Floresville, Texas, establishing and adopt a park program. Whereas the City of Floresville owns and maintains various parks and trails for the use and enjoyment of its residents and visitors. And whereas the City Council desires to provide voluntary opportunities for local citizens to participate in the care and maintenance of the city's park and trails. And whereas an Adopt a Park program is a model of volunteer participation that has been used successfully in many other communities. And whereas an Adopt a Park program will increase civic involvement and participation, pride in the community, and sense of stewardship in helping to care for the city's parks and trail. And whereas an Adopt a Park program will also help and improve and beautify the city's parks and trails for the benefit of all park visitors. And whereas city staff has prepared an Adopt a Park program exclusive of policies, procedures, releases, and waivers as necessary to implement the program. And whereas the City of Floresville recommends approval of the Adopt a Park program, now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of Floresville, Texas establishes the City of Floresville Adopt a Park program as described in Exhibit A attached hereto to accommodate and promote volunteer participation in conserving and maintaining city park trails and recreation facilities. Be it further resolved that the city staff are authorized to administer the Adopt a Park program, including processing applications and conducting any follow-up coordinations with volunteers as necessary. Be it further resolved that establishments of this program does not commit the city to any future improvements of any park trails or recreational areas of facilities. Passed and adopted by the city of Flores, by the city council this 23rd day of January 2020.
Thank you.
Do you want the mission also read, or?
No, ma'am, that's not necessary.
So moved.
So, do I
have a motion? You need a second.
Yeah, okay, I move to approve resolution 2020-001, a resolution of the City Council of Floresville, Texas, establishing Adopt a Park program. Is there any comments or anything from the citizens?
There's a motion, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
You need a second.
We need a second.
A second.
One, Supervisor Ortiz made the motion. I believe Councilwoman Martinez, you second?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you can ask for comments.
Comments? I thought I was supposed to do it before.
Who's going to be in charge of this park, running the park?
Point of information, Madam Mayor.
You have to step to the front.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
My name is Frances Galwana. I live in the city of Floresville. And my question is, who is going to be responsible for taking care of this park, being in charge of it?
Councilman Francis, thank you so much. So this park idea came about with when we started repurposing or redoing the Lodi Park with the new pavilion that we're putting out there. And so some of the, Pastor Gill had reached out and said, hey, that's our a park that's in a part of our community, a part of our church. How can we get more involved with our youth? And like Henry has said, in the schools, they ask for a lot of civic volunteerism for the kids to get back involved. So we was asking for a way with LMCS to get involved with that park and say, how can we come in and help clean and have cleanup days? So we were kind of talking about how we can bounce this around here again with this idea of Adopt a Park. So as we come, we can have other organizations, whether that's FFA, youth groups, churches, school organizations come apart. We want to, like, just like you go on the highways, adopt a highway to clean up for 2 miles, this can be Adopt a Park, and they can come in on a quarterly basis and clean up these parks and maybe put a fresh coat of paint on. So it would be the organizations that adopt that park for that area. So we'll put a little plaque up that says Adopt the Park is being done by so-and-so organization, and then they would be the ones to help come in and maintain. But they'll always be maintained by the city employees, but this is just extra maintenance along the way.
Can I make a comment, Madam Mayor?
Just said you'll have applications.
To apply to
Yeah, so we want the groups to, what groups going, so we can coordinate the group and if they're needing assistance for staff. So when we did the one, and I know that Jacob helped out, we had the coordination, but we didn't have the equipment there, we had staff there. So it's a coordination, so the application said that this is a legitimate group, and also we can come up with a time and a schedule to be able to do that. So we want to make sure that they apply, that we know. And then we want to be able to put, and it's in the mission, a placard to say that if a church, or if we was giving the time, we want to have a placard there to acknowledge that they've helped and assisted in giving that volunteer time.
Mr. Ortiz?
I just want to make a comment that was a good question, Francis. Very good question, because I didn't have the knowledge of that. I knew a little bit, but not.
As the saying goes, everybody's job is nobody's job.
That was a good. Thank you very much.
Somebody
Appreciate it.
has to be.
We want to be able to do that. We have the volunteers and coordinate that, so we can say, not to say anybody can go and paint and do things at the park, that we have a coordinated effort.
So it would just be a group, and then, would we have the names of those people, or just?
Yes, that's why we have the application process.
Okay.
So we can be able to do that.
All right, there's a motion, and we'll take a vote on it. Is everybody ready, or is there any more questions? Okay.
I believe Ms. Martinez second.
Mr. Juan Marissa seconded. Okay, and all.
Martinez.
not Marissa.
Okay, Martinez. Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Okay, 5-0.
Thank you, Council.
Okay, and now we're gonna go to item D. CNA to approve resolution 2020-002.
All right, this is something brand new. I've been working with EDC and I want to bring it to the council because we need to have this resolution to move forward. So we did a preliminary application to say that this is a exercise park. And I may need to depend on Ben again because he really helped me out as well as his assistant. We've been working with this. So this is a grant of a park. So I need you to imagine that this is like, I envision looking at the pecan park. So this is one of the free lifting, so it's kind of like self-exercise and weights, and Jake is saying yes because she works out and I don't, but you know, it's one of those, did you rotate, it's like 7 different cycles that you rotate, and it's open to the public. They have them at colleges and things such as that. So they reached out to us to say, and I gave you a copy of what it is, they reached out to us to partner, they want to partner to be able to go across the United States to put these fitness things in, and we looked at different locations, but we think that the best location has at Pecan Park. Morning, noon, and night, you have people walking, doing physical things at Pecan Park. The other thing that came across my mind, we have a gentleman who came to you when we did Trample. He's a runner. And so I said, why don't y'all run it, you know, include Pecan Park? And he goes, it's nothing to do. Nobody wants to be like a hamster run around in circles. And so I thought, well, this would be something they can do. They can run, push, things, all by themselves. And we even had some people to do those gladiator kind of things at our park as well. And so that's what we're hoping that we can be able to do a resolution. So there's a grant, I believe the grant's like $30,000 that they want to give us. We have to have a local match of 95. They help us with local organizations, the whole campaign, they come out. They have contacts with HEB and other people once we get this started. But they just want to say that yes, we want to move forward on this grant part of this application. Again, we've had phone calls, there's all kind of things on the website, that you can look on their website, but I'm really, really excited. They've done this, and the nice thing, we definitely have bragging rights that there's not another one in the state of Texas. So we're gonna have the first one, and definitely this falls along the line with, we wanna be able to spruce up and do some things at the park. Now, Ben had the experience when he was on the, and Councilwoman, this definitely, but you with the Baptist, Mission Baptist Church, that he was able to get a grant for our dog park. And so he's gonna help us to write another grant to add, to help with the $95,000. As you advertise, and there's big ways you can advertise and put campaign, that costs, and they help us put it together. So I anticipate that $95,000 probably will not have to come off in the city. It's definitely gonna be a partnership, but we need you all to pass this resolution so that we can go to the next phase. They'll come up and make a presentation themselves if you all agree to move forward, and I'll figure the location. The second location we thought about was actually where the tennis courts are. But it's downtown, that was really nice, but not a lot of people play tennis. I can count literally hundreds of people at the Pecan Park on a daily basis, and I can't really count that. So that's what we're thinking, and so we're hoping to do that. Even EDC is looking at helping on the park side, looking at some of those trees. I know Roy has spoken to some issues that we're having with the trees, and so this would definitely help us put some life into our most popular part of Pecan Park. Do you have any questions of myself?
Is there any questions? Do you want me to read it?
If you care to.
Resolution 2020-00, resolution to adopt and allocate funds for an outdoor fitness court as part of the 2020 National Fitness Campaign. At a meeting of the City Council held on January the 9th, 2020, where the following actions were taken. Is that the right date?
No, ma'am, I'm sorry, we started this out on the 9th, but if you could change that date.
Is it 23rd?
To the 23rd.
Whereas the City of Floresville has submitted a grant application to National Fitness Campaign, NFC, for participation in their 2020 initiative to install and activate outdoor fitness courts in 200 cities and schools across the country. And whereas the City of Floresville will accept a $30,000 national grant from NFC and provide a local match in the amount of $95,000 to promote and implement a free-to-the-public outdoor fitness court. And whereas the City of Floresville will secure supplemental funding as needed, through community sponsors, which will be made available and committed to this program for the purchase of the outdoor fitness court. And whereas the city of Floresville will commit to construction and launch of the outdoor fitness court by the end of 2020 calendar year. And whereas the city council believes the outdoor fitness court is an important wellness ecosystem that supports healthier communities, commit to funding, fundraising, and participation in FFC's 2020 campaign, and will earn local and national recognition as a leader in providing affordable health and wellness. Therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Floresville will collaborate with NFC to implement the outdoor fitness court and make fitness free to community residents and visitors. Passed and approved this 23rd day of January 2020. So, CNA to approve resolution 2020, a resolution to adopt and allocate funds for an outdoor fitness court as part of the 2020 National Fitness Campaign. May I have someone move to approve?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Motion.
Second. All in favor? 5-0.
Thank you, Council, I appreciate it. Okay, Jade, you and I, out there, right? We get filled. Definitely, one time, I promise you, one time.
No,
Just one.
do you have any citizens' comments now? Or is it too late? No? Okay, item E.
Mayor, we were able to do a resolution to Mrs. Sanchez's family. We presented it to them. However, we do need you to take action on this because it needs to be officially approved so that we can put it into the city's official record.
Okay, proclamation 2020-001, City of Floresville,
So moved.
office. Do you want me to read it? Yeah. Yeah, I will read it. City of Floresville, Office of Mayor and City Council. Whereas on behalf of the City of Floresville, the City Council wishes to record our deep sorrow over the passing of P.P. Sanchez on November the 18th. And whereas P.P. Sanchez served the community of Floresville as a councilman. Whereas